Alright, it's been like a month almost since my last video where I showed you what I've been watching. The reason why it's been so long is because, I don't know, I just haven't felt like making one. And I have a lot of stuff to watch here. This is gonna be kind of risky, but let's see if I can do this. Okay, Poor Bottom DVD. This is everything that I hopefully will have time to talk about. This is not even everything that I have been watching. There are some stuff that I've been watching that I just don't really have anything to say about. I will leave them out of this video. But first I thought that I'd show you a DVD that just arrived today in the mail, and it's kind of late and I'm happy that it arrived finally. This is South Park Season 14. I'll be sure to enjoy this tonight, starting tonight. Did I break this now? God damn it. I don't think I did. And also this little guy, I got this yesterday I think. It's a pop vinyl. This is the Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Hopefully you can see. Got the box here too, but I won't be keeping that. So yeah, it's like looking at the DVDs like that. No, but I have yeah, a lot of stuff to go through, to get through. So let's just get started. First of all, we have a few horror movies. Well, let's start with these two actually. Halloween 3 and Halloween 4. This one I bought a long time ago and I've had it in my collection. I just never saw it. I did now though. I think maybe even, I think it was the Halloween weekend, so it was you know, it made sense to watch it that day. But I thought this was fine. This was very enjoyable up until a certain point where it just got ridiculous, and there's something that just really doesn't make sense. But whatever, it's okay. This one was better though, Halloween 4. Not a great movie, certainly not, but I enjoyed it. Definitely did. So I kind of want to see the fifth one now. So I will try to get that one pretty soon. Then we got another slasher, and this is a Swedish movie called Insane. This is a 3-disc edition, it says here, from the creator of Evil Ed, another Swedish horror movie. Evil Ed is pretty good though. This is just not very good at all. This was filmed, well, it's a really great edition. It's a almost dropped this DVD too. 3-disc edition, you can see here. And this has like tons of special features. Very ambitious DVD and very ambitious special feature wise. I mean, it's a very sort of small, obscure movie, but they have put down a lot of effort on the special features and the behind the scenes and stuff, which is really cool. So it has like a 2 hours behind the scenes featurette. There's bloopers, there's various featurettes and a commentary. But it's a very weak slasher. They didn't really... when they decided to go and film this, everything was far from done. So it was kind of like... I don't know if the term guerrilla filmmaking applies here, but it was filmmaking... you know, they started with the first step before they had finished the second step. You know, I mean, it was kind of... I mean, it was kind of risky, but they pulled it off. They didn't pull off a good movie, unfortunately, but I could talk about the edition though for a long time. It's a really great edition. Even if you don't like the movie, I recommend well, the special features are unfortunately only in Swedish, because it is a Swedish movie. I don't know if I mentioned that, but they do talk English. Some of them have been dubbed, most of them have been dubbed. One of the actors, he was not dubbed of some reason, so he has a Swedish accent. The other ones, they've been dubbed by Americans, or most of them anyway. And that's just to make it more accessible to the international market, and the Swedish horror scene is very small, so that's the reason why they did that. But yeah, so special features only in Swedish, but if you are Swedish, I suppose I'd recommend picking that up if you can find it. The movie I don't recommend watching because it's just not that good. And actually I do have another slasher. I don't never really watch slashers. Well, Halloween 3 is not exactly a slasher, but you know, kind of. I never watch slashers, I don't like them, but for some reason I have a few of them in this update. This is a Terror Train with Jamie Lee Curtis. This is a pretty early one from 1980. And this was definitely enjoyable. Takes place on a train, pretty much the whole movie does. And I really do like the fact that it's on a train. And there are some really cool scenes of the train, the exterior of the train where it, you know, it's driving by or whatever. There are sort of, I suppose there are limits to what you can do in one train. You know, that does kind of get a little bit repetitive after a while, but I kind of liked it. It wasn't bad. Well, I'm just gonna keep going with the horror here. We have a couple more horror movies. I guess this is a slasher too, but I watched like 20 minutes and then I turned it off because this is just I don't like it. It's a gutter balls. It's just no. I don't like that stuff. I just don't see any redeeming qualities about those movies. I don't mind them. I mean, I just really don't like them. I mean, they're so dreadfully boring. So I can't really comment on the movie. It's a Ryan Nicholson movie, and I have seen one of his efforts before, which was a pretty short one. I think it might have been called Torched. And that was also horrible. And I'm not gonna, you know, be watching any more of his stuff, because it's not my thing. But I know some people do like what he's doing. Anyway, this one I watched yesterday. This was terrific. This is Dario Argento's Deep Red, and it's really good. I mean, Dario Argento, he really has, well, there is a documentary on there called An Eye for Horror, and yeah, he does have an eye for horror, but he also have an eye for, you know, just really great visuals, really creepy visuals that will stick in your mind, and an eye for, he has, you know, he's very talented when it comes to creating a great atmosphere, and there's, you know, it's really well directed, it's really well edited, there's some good camera work in there, a lot of good stuff about it, which ultimately does outweigh the negative, which is good, but there is something negative about it, and that's a pretty major thing also, and that's the plot. Plot is really not that good. I don't care for the plot really. But despite that, I did enjoy watching it a lot because of all those other things that are so good about the movie. So really good, I mean really good movie, I gotta say. Next one is Crybaby by John Waters with Johnny Depp. You know, I don't really have that much to say about this. This was fine. I enjoyed certain parts, but ultimately I was kind of, you know, didn't really care too much about it. Episode Season 3, or Series 3, really enjoyable. Enjoyed watching this a lot, and I'll be enjoying watching Series 4 as well, I'm sure. I do believe that David Schwimmer will make a guest appearance in that. Maybe I mentioned that already when I unboxed that season. I think I might have done that, I don't know. Then we have Project X. This was really enjoyable. It's not a great movie, but I was kind of impressed when I watched it because, first of all, in the beginning of the movie it says kind of like, you know, do not attempt to recreate or reenact any of what you will see in this movie or whatever. And I was like, you know, what the hell is this? Is this Jackass or something? I've never seen that in the beginning of a movie before, you know, except for the Jackass movies maybe, but that doesn't count. But so I was curious to see what the hell that was all about. And well, I guess I got my answer. This movie though is about 3 students, I think they're 17 years old. Oh, it actually says so here, that text that I was talking about, it's on the cover too. Anyway, these students, they want to pull off the, you know, the greatest party that, you know, anyone has ever seen. You know, a party that people will talk about for years to come. And that's what this movie is about. And they hire Dax Flame, I think his name is. He's been on YouTube for a while. I don't think he's on YouTube anymore. but he's the camera guy, and he films this whole attempt of theirs to create this epic party. And so it's in a mockumentary style. And you know, this hasn't really gotten that great reviews. And like I said, I wasn't a big fan of it either. But this movie really only tries to do one thing, and that is to pull off, you know, well, pull off the most epic party ever. And I'd say they succeeded with that. Certain sequences, I don't know how they did them really. I mean, really good filmmaking. You know, they're not trying to do anything more than that. So I think it works on that level. You know, it doesn't really have anything else to offer, and that makes it a fairly weak movie. I suppose it's not something that I'm gonna watch again, but for what it is and for what they were trying to do, you know, I'd say that they succeeded with it. That being said, though, it's not a must-watch, but I was fairly impressed in certain with certain aspects of it. Then we got a Swedish crime mystery thriller, En fråga om liv och död, a question of life and death, or whatever it would be translated into. I really don't like these, but this one was enjoyable. Kind of like it's in 2 parts and 3 hours altogether, so kind of like a long movie or a miniseries. And it was fine. I thought that the main actor was really good, but other than that, it's not great. Frances Ha with Greta Gerwig, I think she might have co-written this too, and it's directed by Noah Baumbach, and he also wrote it. Anyway, this is a really good, really enjoyable flick. I don't know if it's an indie movie. It definitely looks like it, but the director is fairly established. It's just a very feel-good movie. I really did enjoy this, and I recommend you to check this out. Then we get another good one, The Science of Sleep, by Michael Gondry. He made The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This is with Gael Garcia Bernal and Charlotte Gainsbourg. Yeah, well. And it's about Gael Garcia Bernal's character. He sort of has a problem separating reality and his dreams. And sort of to show that, they have sort of made a lot of stop motion sequences, a lot of surreal sequences with very creative set design and lots of stop motion going on. That's part of the reason why I liked it. I suppose the chemistry between the 2 leading actors, it could have been better. So it could have been a terrific movie. Could have definitely been even better. But just because of all of this time they put into making great looking visuals and really creative and inventive and innovative, whatever, animation sequences and all of that, I really did like it quite a bit. This one, Takashi Miike movie, Yatterman, this really wasn't my cup of tea. It is a live action movie. It's based on an anime, I believe. Well, or a manga or whatever. And it's live action, but there's a lot of computer animation going on too. And the style of the computer animation is just so digitalized or whatever. It just doesn't. I just don't like the look of it. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening. It's not like Ichi the Killer or Gosu or Dead or Alive, whatever, all of these rated R movies. This is fairly family friendly. There are a couple of weird sequences, but it's basically family friendly. But no, I prefer his stuff that's a little bit more out there, like the movies I mentioned, and like Visitor Q, and all of that. Anyway, then we got Witching and Bitching, Spanish movie, and it says here pure mayhem on the top of the cover, and I'd say that's true, especially the ending of this. The director who made this also made The Last Circus previously, and the ending to that movie I praised that, and the ending to this is even better. It's just yeah, it's pure mayhem. It's just insane madness. It's very enjoyable. Really looking forward to seeing what he will do next. This one I watched yesterday too. A fairly tough watch in a way, and definitely not a feel-good movie, but a really good one. It's called The Free Will. Not heard really any people talking about this, but it's by a director called Matthias Glasner, and it's a German movie, and it's a really long movie. It's a character study between these two people. It's about loneliness, and these two people, they have certain social difficulties, and they sort of feel they have a difficulty fitting into certain situations in life, I guess, and they find each other. It's not a typical romance movie, but a really strong movie. There are a few things that maybe I would have liked to alter slightly if I could, just to make it, well, even better. It could have been just one of those movies that would have gone straight to, you know, my top favorite movies. Unfortunately, there are a couple of things that would have had to be improved for that, but I kind of feel like that's too bad, because it has an endless amount of potential and lives up to that, you know, in a lot of aspects or a lot of respects, whatever. But I don't know. I just feel like some things could have been better. I don't. It's a really good movie though. Really fairly disturbing. Definitely will stick in your mind. Well, it did for me anyway. I'm not gonna have time to talk about all of these. This always happens. I talk way more than I expect, and then I just have way too many left. Anyway, we'll see how many I get through. This is called The Heroes of Telemark, with Kirk Douglas, Richard Harris. World War II movie about Kirk Douglas and Richard Harris and a couple other people. It takes place in Norway, and they try to, well, the Germans, they have sort of established a base there where they have produced so-called heavy water, which will help them to produce an atomic bomb. And it's about these people in the resistance, Kirk Douglas, Richard Harris, etc., trying to stop the Germans. And very enjoyable, very flawed, but very enjoyable. Then we have the extended edition of The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. Only seen the special features so far. It says over 9 hours here, and it is 9 hours, but if you include the 1 hour making off the music, you know, it's 10 hours, so a lot of special features to watch. If you enjoyed watching the special features of the first Hobbit movie or of the Lord of the Rings movies, I recommend getting this too. We'll check out the movie though, closer to the premiere of the third one. I've seen the movie before, but you know. Next up is Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas Special. I've never seen Pee-wee's Playhouse, the show, and but I've just heard people talking about this, and I have been interested to see it. I love watching Christmas stuff, and I really did enjoy this actually. Thought this was pretty good for what it is, and I might even come back to this someday. Anyway, then we got a movie which, terrific release. I made a video of this release, but was kind of disappointed with the movie, I gotta say, and it's Her by Spike Jonze. I really did love where this was going in the first part, but then I suppose the relationship between Joaquin Phoenix and you know, Scarlett Johansson, or her voice, if you know the plot, I won't get into it, but I suppose I wasn't really as intrigued with that as I thought I was going to be. And also, the only thing that I could think about when I heard Scarlett Johansson speak was Scarlett Johansson in a voice recording booth, whatever, doing her lines. I think it would have worked better if they hired an unknown actress whom you might not know who that is, and in that way you don't have a face in your head when you hear the voice, because to me that was a problem. It just kept thinking about Scarlett Johansson, and that took away some of the enjoyment maybe. That wasn't the main problem, or whatever. I don't know what the main problem was. I suppose there's no main problem with it. I just frankly was kind of bored when I watched it, but it's not bad. Then we have a movie called Beautiful Boy, which is about a couple and how they have to deal with the aftermath of a school shooting where the shooter was their son. And I guess something like that is hard to pull off. It's a good exhibition of acting to some extent, and fairly interesting, but they don't really manage to get... It kind of seems to explore it on the surface. They don't really they don't manage to go deeper into the problem or the issue, or I don't know. It just came off as fairly mediocre and uninteresting, which I'm sure wasn't the the goal. I don't know. It was fairly good. Then we got another shitty Christmas movie called The Christmas Card, which I'm not really gonna talk about. But it was... I heard that it was good, but it was not good. A Louis Define movie called... oh, I don't know what the English title is. I'll write the English title here. But this was fine. You know, I really did enjoy certain parts of that. Basically, Louis Define, he is, well, he comes across as some sort of patriarch, a leader of this ballet team, female ballet dancers, and he sort of watches over them with, you know, like he's, you know, the father of all of them, and he, you know, doesn't allow anyone to come close to them, and he really is super strict about everything. And then, I don't know, it was fine. It was pretty funny at times, but fuck it, I don't know, it was fine. Next up is Buried with Ryan Reynolds. I've seen this before, and this was, I watched it again. A movie that takes place just in a box, in a coffin, and I watched it again, but that proves that they pulled it off. It's definitely exciting, you know, considering the fact that it takes place in a box. They definitely managed to pull it off. Pretty impressive how they did it, and yeah, it was pretty. It's a pretty good movie. Then we have Hell on Wheels. This was fine. I'm not gonna keep watching it. I'm not gonna get season 2 or anything. It's about the building of the railroad, connecting the west and the east, or the north and the south, I don't know, in the States. And yeah, late 19th century, post-Civil War. And it's just not that. I talked about it a little bit in a vlog, and I think I said that it's not that, I don't know what I said. I just don't really... It's not... Yeah, there are many better shows that I'd rather watch. Let's just put it like that. Next up is The Godfather. This is part of a box set that I have with all of the 3 movies. I do have this on DVD, and I've seen it before. Although I've only seen the first one, so I'll be watching the second and third one for the first time, hopefully pretty soon. But I rewatched this, and it's not overrated, but I don't enjoy it as much as most people seem to do. I mean, the way they showed how, you know, the private life of a mafia family, it's really well made, and acting is just brilliant and very good filmmaking, but I don't know, it is a great movie, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Next up is The Straight Story by David Lynch. It's about a man, and he hears about... He's an old man, and he's not in a great physical shape, and the actor wasn't either, so I think the actor, he actually committed suicide shortly after they finished filming. And I read somewhere that the problems you see that the character has, sort of with walking and getting up from his tractor, the seat of his tractor, he appears to have problems doing that, you know, it takes a lot out of him to do it. just those simple things. That was for real. I mean, the actor really had problems doing that because he was in a lot of pain, which is of course sad. I don't know exactly what was wrong with him, what sickness he had, but anyway, he made a great last performance anyway. And yeah, he hears the character. He hears about he hears about his brother. His brother, he has fallen ill, and he lives at the other side of the country. He lives far away from him, and so he decides to go visit his brother. But the only transportation that he has is a tractor, so he goes with his tractor to see his brother, who he hasn't seen for many years. And it's about his journey there, or his trip there, and yeah, mainly really good acting by, what's his name, Richard Farnsworth. So yeah, I'd recommend it. Then we have another shitty Christmas movie, A Holiday for Love. I barely remember this, and it's not been that long since I watched it. What the hell happened in this one? It made a huge impression on me. Anyway,